guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool news video because Fabrizio Romano yesterday evening at 9 p.m. has confirmed that all documents have been signed by Liverpool to sign Arne Slot as our new manager, and we also brought back Julian as Liverpool's new technical director. So the old band is back together, and I think it's no coincidence that Julian Klopp is leaving, and a lot of people who left Liverpool during Julian Klopp's tenure have come back to Liverpool. So we will have the latest news and updates around this and many other news around Liverpool FC in this video, packaged for you guys in an easily watchable and listenable content. So if you enjoy these and if you want to see more, leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss the latest updates about Liverpool FC. And Jurgen Klopp had more and more power in the last 2 years, and that also led to Michael Edwards leaving the club, then Julian Ward leaving the club, and other people leaving the club. There was a brain drain at Liverpool, and maybe it led to Jurgen Klopp getting burnt out and exhausted and ran out of energy quicker because he took on more and more responsibility. He took on more and more responsibility with identifying players to sign and all kinds of other stuff, of course, on top of, doing all the press conferences, interviews, and managing all the 25 or 30 players that Liverpool have, plus, of course, designing tactics and everything else. And Liverpool have an absolutely relentless schedule. Usually we play between 50 and 60 games every season. So Jurgen Klopp burnt out, and I think that led to, his exit. So Julian Ward returns to Liverpool. He was wanted by Michael Edwards. They had a very close relationship. James Pearce, a Liverpool-based journalist well connected with Liverpool Football Club, is reporting this. Liverpool's plan for Julian Ward is to oversee player development, not just at Liverpool, but across FSG's football operations and strategies. And this points towards FSG buying another football club. They already have at stake in the French club Toulouse, but I think FSG want a full ownership of another club, maybe in North or South America, and I think that would make a lot of sense because in North America we could get players from the South American market, play them in that environment, develop them, and when they are good enough for Liverpool, then Liverpool could sign them. And Arne Slot said that the official announcement for him becoming a Liverpool manager, he expects that in a matter of days. He said it's not quite done yet, but it will be a matter of days. He said this on a Friday press conference. It takes more than a simple shopping list and going to the store. These kind of things have to be timed properly. It hasn't been communicated yet, but don't worry, it will undoubtedly happen soon, which means that behind the scenes, Arne Slot already is officially a Liverpool manager. It's just Liverpool and Feyenoord wait for the right time to announce it because they want to be respectful to Jurgen Klopp. Probably they are waiting for Jurgen Klopp's last game at Anfield, and then the next day probably they will announce it, or they are waiting for the Feyenoord season to finish. And according to Paul Joyce, Liverpool have agreed an €11 million compensation package to pay to Feyenoord. So that's a base fee of 9 million plus another 2 million in add-ons and bonuses to secure Arne Slot's services. And I think to sign such an exciting young manager like Arne Slot, it's not a lot of money because Liverpool have like 150 million pounds to spend on transfers. And I think FSG absolutely have to back the new manager with significant transfer funds, because there is a direct correlation nowadays in football in how much money you spend and how successful you are. Of course, it's not always happening. Look at Chelsea, look at Man United. They spend more money than probably even Man City in the last few years, and they haven't been nowhere near as successful as even somebody like Arsenal. But yeah, Arsenal have spent a lot of money. If you spend a lot of money on the right kind of players though, and that's why I'm really excited for this new chapter, because Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, Richard Hughes, surely they will identify the right kind of players, and Liverpool hopefully will keep all their stars, and we will sign players on top of the current squad. And it's also absolutely crucial that Liverpool sign Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold onto new contracts. And Fabrizio Romano reveals that Arne Slot has plans to sit down with Virgil van Dijk. He said, there have been reports in Germany in the last few days about Virgil van Dijk possibly going to Borussia Dortmund. But from what I'm hearing from sources, this is not true. My understanding is that Dortmund are focusing on different names. They will try to keep Jadon Sancho and Ian Maatsen, but Van Dijk links are not something real or concrete at this point. Contacts are not taking place, it's not happening. Incoming Liverpool manager Arne Slot will have a direct conversation with Van Dijk and with all the other big players at Liverpool, Fabrizio Romano revealed, and he will try to keep the experienced Dutch defender at Liverpool as a part of his new project. And Virgil van Dijk himself said that he wants to stay and he wants to be the captain of this new Liverpool 2.0 team, that this is just their first season. Arne Slot would love to keep Van Dijk at the club, Fabrizio Romano said. So the conversation between them is going to be important. Slot has not discussed any names with Liverpool yet when it comes to transfer targets. It's obvious now to link Dutch players with Liverpool, but the reality is that nothing is advanced or concrete now. It's still too early. But behind the scenes, surely Liverpool are doing work, doing due diligence on their transfer targets, because you can't wait until the end of the season to set the transfers in motion. Alexis McAllister is a case in point. Even before the season was over, Liverpool already basically agreed with Brighton a transfer fee for Alexis McAllister, and it was pretty much done by the time the final Premier League games have been played. And Neil Jones, a Liverpool-based journalist, also said that what should help Arne Slot significantly, as opposed to, for example, Erik ten Hag at Man United, is that Arne Slot is arriving into a club that has clear parameters in terms of recruitment strategy, what kind of players we are signing. We have a squad whose core is at the right age to develop and improve with good coaching. With Matip and Thiago leaving, we don't have a lot of very old, above 30 players. Less Van Dijk and Salah, two of our key starting 11 players, and Alisson are already 30 years old, but they are all still at the peak of their careers. Yes, Salah had a pretty bad 2 months, but I still think that Salah is a brilliant goal scorer, and with the right team around him, Salah can still flourish. And Liverpool have Champions League football to look forward to. That means Liverpool will have around £100 million more in revenue next season than this season with the Europa League. That's how big of a difference. I'm saying that as a requirement for Liverpool to achieve 100 million more is to get to the Champions League quarterfinals at least. Of course, if we go out early from the Champions League, then that money will be a lot less. But if we get to at least the quarterfinals, and I think every season that should be Liverpool's aim, get to at least the quarterfinals and try to, of course, go on to win the competition. But in the first season, quarterfinals of the Champions League would be, I think, a successful season. And Arne Slot will have very good established executives working above him, and that should enable him to focus on what he is best at, coaching. And Michael Edwards, Julian Ward and all the other people will take care of player recruitment and managing all the kinds of football departments, the data analysis team, the scouting system and everything else. And James Pearce confirmed in The Athletic that Julian Ward returns to Liverpool as FSG technical director, and Pedro Marques was named as the director of football development. I already made a video about him before. So Michael Edwards has appointed Benfica's Pedro Marques as director of football development. A new football executive has been created by Edwards, with Richard Hughes arriving from Bournemouth as the sporting director and David Woodfine returning to the club as Richard Hughes' assistant. Arne Slot is set to be confirmed as Jurgen Klopp's successor. Fabrizio Romano already confirmed that, but James Pearce is confirming that as well. So Julian Ward's wide range of responsibilities will include oversight of Liverpool's academy, FSG's loan department, group-wide elite player development strategies, and the establishment of FSG's new football innovation department. Julian Ward will also preside over the management of football operations at any club bought by FSG in the future, because the American owners look to establish a multi-club model. They want to own at least 2 football clubs, and that would benefit Liverpool in the long term. I just don't want FSG to own a club in Europe who Liverpool could meet in European competition. I want FSG to buy a South American or a North American club. I think an MLS club in the USA makes the most sense, and we could bring a South American talent and even North American talent from Mexico or from the USA or Canada in that club, and they could play there, and FSG could develop them and see them how they perform, and if they are good enough for Europe, they could go to Liverpool when they are ready. And this would be a huge advantage for Liverpool, who still hasn't tapped into the South American market as much as the likes of Manchester City and other clubs have. Imagine if we could sign Moises Caicedo like when Brighton signed him, instead of trying to bid 110 million for him when he was already in the Premier League. And that's just one of many examples. Enzo Fernandez, Julian Alvarez was signed by Man City from River Plate. Enzo Fernandez, of course, went to Benfica and from River Plate, I think, and then Chelsea bought him for 100 million. Richard Hughes and Julian Ward will both report to Michael Edwards, and they will be tasked with ensuring that academy graduates and young players acquired from across the world remain a vital source of first-team talent. And I'm so happy to hear that Liverpool will continue building on their great youth academy. We have probably the best crop of youth academy players coming through in the last 20-25 years, with like 10 or 11 youth academy players helped Liverpool win the League Cup this season, which is an absolutely remarkable feat. And we already have Trent Alexander-Arnold, Curtis Jones and Conor Bradley, 3 really good, well-established youth academy players who are already proven Premier League talent. Julian Ward first joined Liverpool from Manchester City in 2012 as their European scouting manager for Spain and Portugal, and then 3 years later he was appointed Loan Pathways of Partnership Manager. In 2020 he was promoted to the role of assistant sporting director, and then in 2022 he was the sporting director, but he only worked for 6 months. When Michael Edwards left, quickly after that Julian Ward left, and that's not a coincidence. Jurgen Klopp got so much power at Liverpool in those years that they thought that their role had diminished, so they left, and now that Jurgen Klopp is leaving, they are coming back to the club, which of course in the long term it's a good thing because they are really talented people. But the bottom line is Liverpool have to spend money, FSG have to give significant amounts of transfer funds to the new manager to strengthen this team, to be competitive, because if we want to win the Premier League title, and that should be the aim for Liverpool to build towards, we need some big signings to bridge the gap between ourselves and Man City and Arsenal. Liverpool have definitely overachieved in the Premier League on the Jurgen Klopp. Julian Ward has turned down a number of job offers to spend more time with his family, but the chance to work with Michael Edwards again, combined with the scale and ambition of FSG's football operations, convinced him to accept this opportunity, and probably a very good wage offer convinced him as well of this opportunity. And Pedro Marques used to work for Sporting Lisbon, Man City, City Football Group, and most recently Benfica, where he was technical director. So he's another very talented, very intelligent, very experienced technical director joining Liverpool. Pedro Marques' role will be to oversee youth player development and their transition to first-team football, leading on coaching recruitment, and he will be overseeing a youth structure. He already oversaw a youth structure of 39 teams and around 600 players. Ruben Dias, João Felix, Gonçalo Ramos, Antonio Silva and João Neves were among those to make the leap to Benfica's first team under the guidance of Pedro Marques. And Michael Edwards believes that the experience and expertise of Marques makes him an ideal fit for FSG's expanding football operations. And both Marques and Julian Ward will start their roles on June the 1st. So the band is back together at Liverpool, which I'm really happy about. But this is not about nostalgia. Michael Edwards sees Julian Ward as a very close friend who also proved to be massively productive for Liverpool. This working relationship between Edwards and Julian Ward has overseen one of the most successful eras of Liverpool's recent history. Of course, you have to also consider when Julian Ward handed in his notice in November 2022, the situation was very different at Liverpool. Edwards had gone, FSG president Mike Gordon has taken a step back, and the rumors were that FSG are looking to sell Liverpool completely or maybe even seek a new investment. So he decided to take his time after 11 years working at Liverpool, to take time off and to be with his family. He didn't have any money problems because Liverpool paid him very, very well for those 11 years. And he even turned down the chance to work for the Ineos football group, who have a part ownership in Manchester United. He also turned down the job offer of Ajax technical director last summer. So Julian Ward didn't go to any other club. I'm not saying he was waiting for Liverpool, but he was waiting for the right opportunity. And now, working under Michael Edwards, with FSG being very ambitious with their football plans, he saw the opportunity as the right one to accept it. And it's no surprise that Michael Edwards moved very fast to get Julian Ward in, to get Pedro Marques in, because these are two of the most talented people in the football world, and Liverpool will be much better off with the right people working behind the scenes. And now we just have to hope that Arne Slot will be able to coach the Liverpool players into a very attractive, attacking and ultimately successful team in the coming years, because the recruitment will be on point. FSG just need to spend enough money for the Liverpool squad to be good enough to challenge for trophies and titles, because Arne Slot, I think, will be good enough to do that. But of course, we will see next season what will happen. I'm really excited for this new chapter of Liverpool, and you can follow along on my channel. So thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.